channel. Today we are in Montezuma, Colorado. We took a trip up here to do a little shopping in Silverthorne and thought this would also be a great place to shoot our next video. 10 things we can't live without inside the van. So today we're going to go over some of what we feel are the most essential things to have in the van as part of van life, things that keep us warm, things we use every day, things that make our life a little bit easier, and things, little like hacks that we wanted to just share with you that we have learned along the way. So come on in and we'll show you some of our favorite things. So the very first thing that we absolutely cannot live without in the van is going to be our solar panels. They did not come with the van originally. We got them added on about 6 months into van life. We have 2 panels up there. They're each 200 watts and they are connected directly to our battery inside of the van. Before we had them, we could only charge the battery when we were driving, and this was fine like when we weren't using the battery a lot, but as it started to get colder outside and we were cooking more in the van, we noticed that the battery was draining pretty quickly, and the solar panels were going to be an absolutely necessary upgrade going into winter. So now with the solar panels, we're getting a full charge anytime we're parked in the sun. So we don't need to be running the van, and it ensures that once the sun goes down at 4:30, 5 o'clock, and it's really cold, we're running the heat, we're cooking, we are fully charged and we have power to get us through the night all the way till the next morning without any worry. Okay, so now we're moving to the inside of the van for the remainder of our countdown. You might hear a little bit of noise in the background. That's the heater going because it is currently 18 degrees outside and there's a storm rolling in, so we wanted to make sure we were at least staying warm for this video. But the second item on our list of things we can't live without in the van is going to be this ceiling fan that we have here. These ceiling fans were not part of the original build out package. They were an additional accessory, and they are absolutely essential to the things that we do in the van in the winter time and in the summer. In the summer, we use the fan with the setting with the air blowing in, so that way we can stay cool and have some airflow in here on really hot days. They're also really great when we are out mountain biking and we have to leave Huna, our dog, in the van during the day when we're out. Keeps it pretty cool in here, so that's really nice. And in the winter time, we have also opened the fans with the air blowing out for when we're cooking. Just helps get some of like the steam, and like when we've made bacon, it helps get the scent out a little bit. There's multiple different settings on the fan, so there's the air blowing in, air blowing out. There are 13 different speeds, and they run silently, so you can run them all night long without being woken up by the sound. And in addition to that, they only use a little bit of battery power. We were afraid to use them all night long at the beginning, but we looked it up online and it turns out you can get like 12 to 16 hours drawn off the battery of the van with the fans running. So we use them confidently all night long, and then we'll just turn on the van in the morning and run it for a little while to regenerate the battery, so that we can get more usage with them throughout the day. But all in all, absolutely love these fans for the airflow and the ventilation, keeping us cool, and would highly recommend looking into getting these as an addition to your van build out when you're thinking about getting one. So the third item on our list of things that we can't live without inside the van is going to be these windows that we had installed on both sides. This window right here is on the side where the door opens, and it's got one big opening here. This little slot stays in place, and then this part of the window has a screen over it and it can be opened. All we do is twist this little handle here. Cliff has them nice and tightened up for winter time, but once you twist it, it just pops right open on the outside, and we can get all of this airflow coming in through the screen. The other thing that's great about this window is it's tinted really dark, so from the outside you literally cannot see in at all. Like, I've put my face right up to the window and you can't see in, so super stealth. We also have windows installed on the driver's side of the van behind the driver's door, and this window has 2 openings. So when we open those up, it's really nice because then we can get some airflow going across the van to both windows, over the sink, and all of our cooking area, so that way we have a bit of airflow and ventilation when we're cooking and for things to stay cool, like when we have our toaster oven out here, so things don't get too hot. And of course we leave these windows open when we're out like biking or hiking or stuff like that, so that way if we do have to leave Huna behind, she's able to stay nice and cool and get some fresh air. And without these windows, it would be so dark in here, and it would honestly just like be hard to tell like when it's daytime and when it's nighttime. So the windows really give it more of like a homey feel, because we can like see what's going on around us and we get that natural light like you would inside of a house. So we really just wouldn't be able to have a normal like lifestyle inside the van without having the windows in here, because we would just feel like really like secluded, and maybe like a little claustrophobic without them. So again, these were an accessory. They were an add-on, not part of the original package, and something that I would highly recommend including in your original van build out when you're thinking about getting a van. The 4th item on the list of things we can't live without in the van are going to be these insulated window shades and the insulated privacy curtain. These are super cool because, again, you know, obviously they cover the windows, so at night we're super stealth, like you really can't see in through them at all, and they barely let in any light, so it stays really dark in here. And on top of that, they keep it really cool in here in the summertime. Like if we get the temperature to like 67, 71 degrees or so, it'll stay that temperature while we leave for a couple hours and then come back, as long as the window curtains are down. And they have these really simple design with just these little clasps here, and then they just roll right down, and just like that we are in stealth mode. Super easy. And same thing here for the privacy curtains. We just unclip these little buckles here, rolls down, and then it has Velcro on the corner here, and we just stick that right onto the side. We just unroll both sides here. And then it just zips down the middle. And just like that, it's like no one would ever even know we were here. It keeps us nice and cool in the summertime. It keeps us a little bit warmer in the winter. You can really feel the difference between the cabin area and the driving area. Like in the morning when we unzip it and go out there for the first time, we're just like, oh my goodness, it is so much warmer in here than it is out there. So these curtains really provide a lot of features that we feel are absolutely necessary to making van life more comfortable for both temperature and safety. Okay, so now I'm sitting underneath the bed. This is the garage space in the van, and this wheel well box was designed to hold propane heaters that are 5 pounds, and those are fine in the summertime because we're not using a ton of propane that time of year. But in the wintertime, we were noticing that we were using a lot more propane to heat the van and keep it warm. You can probably hear a little muffle right now. That's the heat running right there by my feet. But we really just wanted to be able to run the heat and be warm and comfortable without having to worry about running out. So Cliff installed this 15-pound propane tank. He just added these little D-rings on and got this little ratchet strap, and he was able to connect the line to this 15-pound tank. And it uses about 1 pound of propane every 3 hours. So we get a lot of use out of this. It can run all night, like no problem, and it barely even moves the needle. So this was a really necessary upgrade for a cold Colorado winter, to be able to not have to worry about being cold at night. And then we can just run the heat pretty much as often as we need. So the sixth item that we can't live without in our van is going to be our single burner butane stove. It comes in this compact little carrying case that we're able to store underneath the kitchen galley behind our fridge. So it goes right down here with all the rest of our kitchen supplies. The stove is really easy to set up. We just unlock the little carrying case with these little sliding latches here and open it up, this little handle. Take the stove out, set it to the side, and we just flip the burner over. And we push down this little lever right here, which locks the butane into place. And you'll see here, this is our little butane tank. It just locks in. We pick up our butane either at Ace Hardware or Walmart, and it's literally like $3 a can, and it lasts like usually close to like a month. So that's a really good value. After we lock the butane into place, we just turn the little knob here. You'll hear it click on. I just put it onto a low setting, and then we just take our lighter and turn the burner on. When we are done using the burner, we just turn the knob back to off, and then we just push this lever back up to disengage the butane, and we just let it cool for a little while. And what's nice about this little setup is it really only takes a few minutes to cool down. Like, by the time we're done having our coffee and our breakfast, this is fully cooled down, and we can just flip the burner right back over and pack it back away into its little carrying case and store it back underneath the galley. Number 7 on the list of things we can't live without in the van is going to be the passenger side swivel seat. This seat was stationary when we first purchased the van, and Cliff bought the pieces online from the Swivel shop to install this on his own. There's just a little lever right down here under the seat that you pull, and then we can just swivel around to the front. Locks into place, and then we can just pull out our little lagoon table, and then Cliff can sit on the boot box, and I can sit here, and we can enjoy a nice meal together facing each other and each having our own seat. It's also really nice when we want to just have one person cooking and one person kind of out of the way. It just creates a little bit more space and kind of like elongates the cabin area. So all in all, this has definitely been one of the best upgrades we have added onto the van since we got it. And furthermore, it's super fun. So then I can just swivel back around when I'm done. Okay, so number 8 on the list of items we can't live without in our van is going to be our Dometic toilet. The van did not come with a toilet originally. We had what's called a luggable loo, which is a 5-gallon bucket with a toilet seat lid on it, and it came with these little bags that you can just pick up at REI, and that system was okay. Honestly, it was fine, but with 2 of us in here, we really needed the upgrade, especially when summertime comes to an end and you can't just go outside real quick. So we upgraded to the Dometic flushing toilet, and we store that here in this convenient little boot box. As we've mentioned before, our van was built out by Wayfarer Vans, and the Dometic toilet is designed to fit inside this boot box. It's got like a platform at the base of the boot box with little bolts on it that kind of hook the toilet in and keep it in place. So that's why we went with the Dometic toilet versus like a composting toilet. And here, let me open this up and I can show you what it looks like and how it works. So as I said, it's kind of like latched into this platform down here, so it doesn't like move around at all. It has this little lid, which is really nice, so it's not always open. When you open it, it looks just like a normal toilet. And how it works is there's a top compartment and a bottom compartment that are separate, and they hold 2.5 gallons of water each. So the clean water is stored in the top section, and when you go to use the toilet, what you want to do is first take this handle and you pump it about 5 times. It's not pumping right now because it's really cold and the water is borderline frozen, but that's how that works. Then the next thing you're going to do is there's this little handle down here, and you're going to pull that open. That basically opens the toilet bowl. And then you open it up, do what you need to do, close it, and then there's a little button that you can hit here to flush. And you just hold that down for a few seconds, and it lets out a little bit of water to just clean out the bowl. And then the most important thing is these holding tank treatment tablets. So after we clean out the toilet and put fresh water in, we drop one of these tablets in, and it basically turns everything into just like a blue liquid. It breaks down everything, and it makes it so the toilet is really easy to empty out. That being said, we do really only try to use it like, you know, for a number 1, and really try to only use it for anything else if it's an absolute emergency. But if there is an emergency, these tablets really do save the day. All in all, I really can't say enough good things about having this toilet in here. It has made things so much easier with life on the road, even to the point where I would rather use this toilet than use one in like a gas station or something. So highly recommend looking into this brand or something along this line that you can just kind of stow away somewhere, because the convenience of it is unmatched. Okay, so number 9 on our list of items we can't live without in the van is going to be additional storage containers. This van does come with a lot of storage on its own, but organization is key to keeping the van clean, knowing where things are, and being able to access things easily. Because when you're in a small space like this, if one little thing is out of place or your little salt and pepper containers spill over, you've got a big mess. You're looking for things for a while, and it takes a while to clean a small space when it's in a little compartment. So that being said, we have this nice little galley space here for all of our kitchen items, and when we had originally moved into the van, we just kind of stuffed everything in here, and things got messy quick. After a couple of months, there were salt, pepper, seasonings just all over the shelves. The toothbrushes were stuffed in the back. We couldn't find the sunscreen. It became a mess pretty quickly. So we measured the space of these boxes, the entry space as well as the depth. As you can see, it's pretty far. My fingertip is just hitting the end and it's well past my elbow. And then we just went to Walmart and picked up some storage containers, and we went with clear ones. So we just have these little bins here and they lock. So we just try to like keep them organized. Like we have kitchen stuff on the top, we have toiletries in the middle, and then just kind of like cords and electronic accessories down in the bottom. But when I say that these have made a world of difference, I really can't stress that enough. We haven't had to clean out these shelves since we bought these, which has been really nice. And they fit perfectly and just keep everything in place. We just put them on their side, slide it in, straighten it out. And because they are slightly wider than the entrance to the cubby, they don't like come out when we're driving, which is another really important thing to consider when you're in the van. So just any way that you can maximize storage with little containers, we highly recommend. And for all vans, they're going to be different sizes, different shapes, different depth. So you just want to make sure you're measuring the place that you want to use them for before you go in and purchase them. So those have made a world of difference. We also have another cabinet up here over the bed for clothing. And again, we thought that the cabinet itself was a huge upgrade, and it was. But just folding your clothes and stacking them in a pile doesn't make as much room as you would think. So we went out and got bins for clothing as well, which has maximized the space inside this cabinet. Originally, when you opened them, the clothing was just kind of like falling out as soon as we opened the cabinet doors. But as soon as we got these bins, everything started to stay in place, and things are much easier to find because you have your socks and your t-shirts and your sweatshirts. And organization, like I said before, is key to getting by in a small space. So get yourself some storage bins, maximize your space, and I promise you, van life will be easier immediately. The 10th and final item on the list of things we cannot live without in the van is something very small in size, but very big in reward. And it is as simple as command hooks. Command hooks are amazing. They are cheap, they come in all shapes and sizes, and we can hang stuff all over the van thanks to these. Mostly what I'm going to show you is decorative, because we're in the main cabin space, but we do have command hooks in the back underneath the garage for more functionality and storage. But I'll just show you a couple of the ones that we have here in the main cabin. We have our little prayer flags, and I have these half-pound command hooks holding these up. We've had these up since probably June. It's now December, so like 7 months, and they've held our little prayer flags in place this whole time, so that's been great. And then underneath we have a 3-pound command hook, just this one right here. This one is essential. This is where we put the keys every single night at the end of the night, so that way in the morning we know exactly where they are. Because again, like I was just saying with tip number 9, is organization is the key to making van life easier. So putting our keys in the same place every single night is an absolutely essential feature. We also have a couple command hooks over here. We have our nice little decorations. We just have these clear half-pound hooks that stick right onto the wood, and they can pull off without leaving any mark. And then we have Velcro command strips for our power outlet right here, so we can plug in our phones, our chargers, all that kind of stuff right here, right at our fingertips. So usually we'll charge like 2 items at a time and then switch them out before we go to bed. So having the power strip velcroed to the wall right here, right next to the bed, makes it super convenient for us to be able to change that up really quickly. This is also an essential location for our cooking devices because we plug in the toaster oven and the rice cooker to this power source, which connects to our battery underneath the bed. So a roll of Velcro, command strips, command hooks, get them all. You'll use them all over the van, I'm telling you. We can't live without them. So thank you guys for coming around the van with me while I show you the 10 things that we have found to be the most essential and most important upgrades to the van to make things more comfortable and more organized for us as we've adjusted to van life. There's a lot of other things that we've added and a lot more that we can share with you over time, but the 10 points that we've made in this video are what we feel are the most absolute necessary when you spend your first few months on the road. And if you found these tips helpful, remember to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications because we'll be continuing to post videos with tips like this for inside of the van, tips for outside of the van, and tips for traveling in the van. So if you like what you see, hit that subscribe button and we will see you soon. Thank you so much. Bye.